Hi, everybody. Welcome to AQ's Blog and Grill. Excited today to have Guy Kawasaki on to talk about his new book, Art of the Start 2.0, which is actually, I think, the best book written for entrepreneurs and startups. It is exceptional, and it's going to be a gift of mine to a whole bunch of entrepreneurs that I know. So welcome, Guy. It's good to see you again.
Oh, thank you.
Last year, I complimented you on Art of the Start. And you said, well, don't worry because I'm coming out with a new version of it, 2.0. And you have. I got to tell you, Guy, you kind of blew my head off with this one. This is fabulous. I don't just like this book. I love this book.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why did you decide to do it? Why is it 50% bigger, more stuff?
Well, you know, Art of the Start was written 10 years ago. And believe it or not, 10 years ago, there was no social media, there was no cloud computing, no crowdsourcing, no crowdfunding. People had a lot longer attention spans. It was a completely different world. Right. So I had to rewrite the book to keep it relevant. I will tell you a funny story. There are lots of places where I had to change Microsoft as a good example.
Yes, I noticed that.
Because let's just say it wasn't a good example in a lot of places anymore.
Yeah.
So there's that. But really, I don't think there was a lot that was wrong in the book.
No.
One exception to that is I completely redid the part about business planning.
Yeah.
Because in essence, I don't think it's necessary to write a full-fledged business plan anymore. A good pitch is enough.
Right.
So that's a major change in that book.
Yeah. When you were at Apple, everyone asked you about Steve Jobs. I'm going to ask you, how was your relationship with Woz?
Sometimes you meet people, you just get a sense that there's no other story, there's no veneer, there's no manipulation. It's just he is what he is.
Right.
And I think he's just a very pure form of entrepreneur.
Right. Now, you and I have talked about putting partnerships together, and do you think that was one of the secrets that Steve Wozniak had the engineering brain,
yeah,
and then Steve was kind of this technologist that got into the whole marketing thing, the branding thing?
When you come right down to it, there's only two roles in a startup. Somebody's got to make it, and somebody's got to sell it, right? And if you have two people who can sell it, but nobody who can make it, you got nothing to sell. And if you got two people who can make it, but nobody who can sell it, there's not going to be any sales. And ideally, you have a third person who's the adult for supervision, and that's critical mass.
Yeah. You and I have also talked about Elon Musk being kind of the new Steve Jobs.
I think he is literally the closest to Steve Jobs. Many of his ideas, you look at it, you say, what the hell is he thinking, right? And his ideas come out of left field, and I didn't anticipate that battery thing, and he's got this idea to put people in tubes and send them down to LA. Hallelujah, yes.
In the book, you talk about elegance and what elegance is. So what do you think in your head is elegance?
Elegance is it's subtraction. It's how much crap you pulled out. As opposed to added in. The latest MacBook that Apple's made, maybe a little too elegant, right? It's got one port, and that port's supposed to support everything. I don't quite get that. No. I don't know what they're thinking.
In this book, and in other conversations, we've talked about angel investors and venture capitalists, and you think that game has completely changed?
Yes.
Okay. And why do you think it has changed?
I think it's completely changed because the capital needs of tech startups has been vastly reduced. And that's because of social media, which is free marketing.
Right.
Cloud computing, which is inexpensive hosting. Virtual teams, which means less commercial real estate. And every tool being free. And if you need a fair amount of capital, not a great amount of capital, there's Kickstarter and Indiegogo.
Right.
So with all of that, venture capitalists are just less necessary. And I also think that most venture capitalists don't add value anyway. So, it's all working out.
I love in the book, you have a section called Top 10 Lies of Venture Capitalists. And I think it's number 3 or number 4, which says, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle. So how does that connect to the lies that VCs tell entrepreneurs?
Well, I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they say stuff like, well, if you get a lead investor, we're in. Or once you're doing $10 million a year and you're doubling every 6 months, we're in, right?
Yeah.
And once you have this world-class team of, Steve Jobs as your CEO and Elon Musk as your chief marketing officer and John Ive as your, chief designer, then we'll invest. Well, like I said, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle. I mean, if all this was true, guess what?
Yeah.
They wouldn't need your money.
We keep telling our entrepreneurs and our startups, you must have a MVP. You must have your minimum viable product. And Guy Kawasaki comes out of nowhere, out of wherever the hell you are in California, and you say, no, you don't need an MVP. Maybe you do, but I say you need an MVVVP.
Yes.
What the hell is that all about?
Well, I want to add 2 more V's. So first V I want to add is valuable, because you could do a minimum viable product, but it's not valuable. It's not important. It's not going to make a dent in the universe. It's not going to change the world. Right. And then the next V I want to add is validating, because you could have a viable product that is valuable, but what if it's not validating your vision and validating your idea for the future? So I'll use an example for Apple. If Apple decided to create a laser printer today, it could slap on its label onto a Canon engine and it would be viable. People would buy it, no question. Is it valuable? Does it add to the universe having another laser printer? Not really. Is it validating? Well, what does it validate? What vision of Apple does selling a laser printer validate at this point? Nothing. So that is a product that is only viable. It's not valuable or validating. I don't think Apple should do it.
The majority of the entrepreneurs that I work with and startups come from the engineering side of life.
Yes.
Do you think they get that yet? Do you think they'll ever get it, that it has to be valuable to customers instead of just valuable to their quest to come up with the best new technology?
Well, I have to say that I like the attitude that engineers are coming up with products that they like, because that is the genesis of Apple.
Right.
And so I think that's far better, that you come up with a product that you like, and then you hope that you're not a psychopath and the only person who likes it.
Right.
I think that is a much better path than you're quote-unquote marketing driven, and you're going to create a product that you don't really care about. You just think you can sell a lot of them.
Right, and make a ton of money.
And make a ton of money, yeah.
Okay, so you've always said this, and I think it might even go all the way back to Rules for the Revolutionary, and that's the art of being a Mensch.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? What to you? What's a Mensch?
A Mensch to me is someone who is widely trusted, who is kind and generous, who sees the big picture, that is an honorable person. And at the end of one's life, I hope that everybody is concerned about being a Mensch. It's the highest form of praise. It's difficult to translate the word. Mm-hmm. And so I put a chapter in there about, sort of the obligation of the noble class. I mean, if you've made it, this is what you've obligated to do.
Right. Very good. So there's an exercise in The Art of the Start 2.0. It asks the reader to list 3 things that they would like said about them, or that they would like to be remembered for. Yeah. So I'm going to turn it back to Guy. What are the 3 things that you hope you're remembered for? What are people going to say?
So what I want to be remembered for, first of all, I want to be remembered for empowering people.
Yes.
With my writing and speaking, advising, sometimes investing.
Yes.
I want to empower people to make the world a better place.
Yep.
Second thing I'd like to be remembered for is my wrist shot. Third thing I want to be remembered for, and probably most important, are the kind of kids I raised.
Yes. Yes. And you have 4 children.
Yes, I have.
Isn't that great? So what's the next thing for Guy? What's the next project?
Well, I'm just working full-time now on Canva, and Canva is an online graphics design tool.
Yep.
That everybody in social media should be using. I'm not kidding. It makes life so much better when you need graphics.
Yep.
So, and we're signing up thousands upon thousands of people per day. I mean, it's a mind-boggling number. And so things are going well there too.
Excellent. Guy, it's always great to talk to you.
Thank
You
you.
will be remembered in such a positive way. You are a Mensch. You're really super, a generous human being. And what more can you say? And I'm sure your kids are going to be fabulous. So
Well, thank you, Alan.
thanks for coming back to AQ's
right.
Blog and Grill. We'll see you later.
Take care.
Okay.
All the best to you guys.
Bye for now. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed our chat today with Guy Kawasaki. If you want more AQ's Blog and Grill, and I can't imagine that you don't, all you have to do is push this subscribe button right over here, and you have access to a great big archive of good interviews with good people doing great things as entrepreneurs and as people working in the brand sector. So, been good seeing you. We'll see you again.